on a good Sunday, Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Love Talking Bullshit. Happy New Year's to everybody in the DMV here. To everybody around the world, we are here today with a special guest. We want to go ahead and let Lex say what's up.
Hey y'all, it's Alexis. I missed y'all last week, but we back. Happy New Year. Wishing you all the best. Hello to you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, it's an honor. It's an honor today.
It's good to see you guys, man. It's been way too long.
Definitely. We have owner of Gourmeltz restaurant here in Fredericksburg, Virginia, Matt Strickland here with us today as a special guest. We are excited to have him. We are honored to have him. We definitely all go way back. On a Cadillac like shit. But we back and you know, every time we get together it's like we never missed a beat. So that's how you know how sincere it is.
Yeah, that's how you know it's true shit.
Facts. So we'll get straight to it.
Cool.
Matt, how did Gourmeltz come about?
Well, I before I opened the restaurant, the craziest part of it is I've never worked in a restaurant before in my life. Never worked in the food industry. My background is when I was 17, which you guys knew me back then, I joined the Army. And the reason I joined the Army mainly was to get away from the situation that I was in, where I grew up, how I grew up. You know, my oldest brother was killed. My other older brother, he's been locked up since '97. You know, so I wanted to set a better example because I got three other little brothers.
Wow.
And I knew I had to do something. I'm always thinking not just about tomorrow, but I'm always thinking about how can I make my life better 3 years from now.
Wow.
You know, so the way I grew up, you know, I knew the only way out of that situation was to join the military for me. So I did that at the age of 17, and I was in the infantry as a medic. And the crazy part about that is, after I got the basic training in AIT, which is my job training, I went to my first unit, 25th Infantry. And my first day at my first unit was September 10th, 2001. So the day before 9/11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so 17 years old in the Army, 9/11 happens, now we're going to war.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so from that day forward, I spent most of my adult life in Iraq and Afghanistan. I served just one tour in the Army, got out in 05, and I started doing private military contracting for a company called Blackwater. And I did that for years. I loved it. And I did that in both Iraq and Afghanistan. And then I came home in 2010 and worked as an intelligence analyst for the military for 4 years. And it was cool to see, because when I was downrange before in Iraq and Afghanistan, I was the one kicking in the doors and actually doing this stuff. So it was cool to see what was going on behind the scenes, the guys that actually feed the guys on the ground the information. So I got to see it from that viewpoint, and it was cool. But the office life just was not for me.
You were more hands-on.
Yeah. It depressed me, stressed me out. You know, I hate sitting behind a computer all day, so I had to do something. So in 2014, when the ISIS stuff kicked off in Iraq, when ISIS was ravaging Iraq and killing innocent people just because they were Christians, I went back to Iraq and joined the fight against ISIS. So fought ISIS for 2 years. Came home in 2016 and opened a food truck.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And that food truck was Gourmeltz.
Okay.
My plan in life, you know.
Now hold on. Did you have that idea in Iraq? You just said you woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm done with this life.
Well, my goal, my plan in life was always to own my own restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, because I love cooking. It's one of my number one passions.
I need a meal.
Yeah.
I need a meal.
That's something I didn't know.
Oh, I love it. I love cooking. And I always knew I wanted to work for myself, you know, because there's a lot of joy that comes out of that. You know, like when I was working as an intel analyst, I got paid real good money, but it was the same amount of money every 2 weeks. You know, no matter how hard I worked or how hard I didn't work, I get paid the same amount of money every 2 weeks, and I don't like that. I like because I work hard. And I don't like that the person next to me not working as hard as I am is making the same amount of money as I am. So I like my paychecks to reflect how hard I work.
Absolutely.
And as a business owner, that's what it does. You work hard, you make money. You don't, you're not gonna make anything. You know, so I always want to go more business. And restaurant was right up my alley because I love cooking. So I was thinking about how to jump in that game because, like I told you, I never worked in the food industry. So I wanted to start with the food truck, just to get my feet wet, improve my concept, make sure that I could actually do it. Because there's a lot less buying for a food truck than it is for a restaurant. Opened the food truck in 2016 and it took off. We grew to 2 trucks, 3 trucks, and then we opened the restaurant version of Gourmeltz in 2018.
You still have those trucks?
No, so yeah, I sold those to help pay for the restaurant.
Okay.
Because it's expensive.
I'm sure.
What, how'd you choose your menu?
Well, I chose Melts. It's called Gourmeltz. What we do is grilled cheese is the basis. And I chose that because grilled cheese is like a blank canvas. You can do so much with it. You know, I mean, we've got brisket melts, we've got grilled chicken melts, we've got chicken and waffle melt, we've got a bunch of different vegetarian melts. It's just you can do so much with it and be creative. And I love being creative. So that's why I went with melts, grilled cheese. But we also do smoked chicken wings. Best wings you ever had in your life.
Oh my God! And all our listeners, anytime you're in Fredericksburg, stop by Gourmeltz. All right, stop by Gourmeltz.
So Ms. Green here said, preach. Well, first and foremost, she said thank you for your service.
Thank you.
She said preach. That's the best explanation. Making the same money every 2 weeks and working hard.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that was a dope way to
You
sum
gotta
that
stay
up.
motivated. You know what I mean? And the reason why we work is what? For money.
Absolutely.
No matter if you love your job, or not, the reason you're working is because you got to make money. You got a family.
You gotta take care of your family.
Exactly. So you can get demotivated really quick, working for the government or even in the private sector, where you get paid the same amount of money every 2 weeks. It's just way more gratifying as a business owner, knowing if you don't bust your ass is gonna be broke.
Right.
So you have
that drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. With that being said, let's go straight into actually, when COVID-19 hit and how things started to affect the business at that point for you.
Well, when COVID-19 hit in March of 2020, I, like everybody else, had no idea what it was about. I thought it was a virus that was going to kill half the world, like everybody. So we took it serious, and the governor said restaurants have to shut down. So we did, and it made me nervous, because I didn't know what was going to happen because my bills didn't stop. I still got to pay my mortgage. I still got to pay everything at home. Still got to pay the restaurant fees. I still got to pay all those utilities, but I'm not allowed to make money. So what do? And it was nerve-wracking, but I knew that we couldn't open because we got this new virus that, like I said, it's supposed to kill half the world. So we did. We shut down, and in June of 2020, so 3 months later, the governor allowed restaurants to open back up, and it was about that time that I noticed something was going on with the government, and it was something more than them looking out for our health and safety. These mandates and things were more about control than anything else. And what made me realize that at first was when we were able to open the restaurant back up, they put all these ridiculous mandates in there for us. Like, for example, you couldn't sit at my bar, but I can pull the table up to the bar and you can sit at that table. And the bartender couldn't serve you across the bar. He could make a drink right in front of you, and then he has to walk around the bar and serve it to you like that. It was just a lot of stuff that it made no sense, And like I said, I was a medic. I was an infantry medic. When I was with Blackwater, I was a counter assault team medic. So I've been a medic, for over 20 years. So I know a thing or two about medicine.
Right.
And I know for a fact that a piece of cotton doesn't protect you from viruses, especially a piece of cotton that you wear the same piece of cotton every day. It's actually more detrimental to your health. To wear it than it is not to wear it. And the virus particles are so small, a piece of cotton is not going to filter it out. Not even a medical mask can filter it out. So the mask was an issue for me because of that. I knew it wasn't protecting us, so I was wondering why they were coming at these, trying to make people wear masks so hard. And it always came back to control. There was just a lot of things the government was doing that was all about control. And, like I said, I've been fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan since I was 17 years old. And I've been doing it because there's dictators in those countries that were ravaging the country, that weren't taking care of their citizens, and they were controlling the country for their own benefit, not for their citizens' benefits.
Right.
And I saw that started to happen here in my country, and I wasn't going to stand for it or let it happen. We have certain rights that this country was built on, constitutional rights, that can never be amended. They can never be disregarded, no matter what. And a lot of these mandates started to try to take away some of our constitutional rights.
Right.
And I decided I'm not going to be a part of that. I decided that I was going to afford my customers their constitutional rights. And if they didn't want to sit at the bar because they didn't feel comfortable, they didn't have to.
Right.
If you wanted to wear a mask because it makes you feel comfortable, you're more welcome to, but you don't have to. It's up to you. It's the choice is yours.
Right.
And so what happened is the health department came in and they said if I don't start following all these COVID-19 guidelines, that they were going to suspend my health department license. And at that point, I was a lot more stuff happened as far as these mandates go that even put me down to the government's just trying to control us really even further. And so I told the health department representative, I said, hey, listen, tell me why somebody can't sit at the bar, but I can pull the table up to the bar and they can sit there, and they're more safe right there than they are sitting at the bar. If you can explain it to me, and it makes sense, I'll follow your mandates. And he couldn't. He said, well, the bottom line is the governor said so you have to do it. And I said, absolutely not. That is violating my constitutional rights and violating my customers' constitutional rights, and I won't be a part of it. And he said, well, we'll come back and we'll suspend your license. I said, well, you do what you got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. But if you don't leave the property right now, I will call the police because you're trespassing.
Right.
And he left. And he came back 2 weeks later and suspended my license.
Wow.
But we kept on.
Fighting.
No, well, they suspended my license, which means I had to shut down. But I didn't shut down.
Okay.
I kept on serving food, kept on serving customers, and that's when it hit national news and became real public. And I had the biggest outpouring of support that I've ever seen in my life. I mean, people were coming from different states just to come to Gourmeltz and say, hey, listen, thank you for standing up for common sense.
Yes.
Thank you for putting your business on the line for all of us. And it felt good. It let me know that I wasn't alone, one. And two, there's still a lot of patriots out there that love the country and love what it was built on and what it's about.
Right.
And I mean, we kept on rocking. And it was embarrassing to the government that I didn't lay down and conform to his mandates.
Right.
So the Attorney General of Virginia filed what's called an injunction against me, which is basically him asking the circuit court judge to court order me to shut down. And then at that point, if he does, then they can come arrest me. So we went to court, and I won. I won in court.
All right.
And so they had to give me my health department licenses back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was a
How
huge.
long did they have to give it back to you? That's 24 hours?
Oh yeah, they gave it back to me. So what happened was we went to court for the injunction, which is they suspended my license, so I appealed that, and that sends it to circuit court.
Right.
So we're supposed to go before a judge, and I'm supposed to say, hey, Your Honor, they suspended my license unconstitutionally, argued, and we'll see what the judge, we'll see what his decision is, right? So in the meantime, while we're waiting on that court case, they filed an injunction asking him, hey judge, at least shut him down until the court hearing. So we went to a hearing for that.
Right.
And the judge said, absolutely not. There's a lot of constitutional and due process issues here. I'm not going to shut him down before I hear the case.
Okay, shout out to the judge.
Right? Absolutely.
Shout out to the judge.
And the thing is, this judge was of Cuban descent. So he was from Cuba. So he knows what communism and socialism looks like because he's been there.
Yeah,
And
if
he came
anybody
here.
does.
His family came here for a reason. So, so he so he stood up for the Constitution because he knows what it looks like when the country does. And so at that point, the Attorney General of Virginia said, "Oh shit, we have a judge that's actually going to uphold the Constitution.
Right.
We probably shouldn't go back to court." He didn't say that, but I know that's
Of
probably
course.
what he was thinking. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
So before we could get back to court, they were reaching out to me. "Hey man, let's settle this. Just pay this little fine and we'll give you your license back." I said, "Absolutely not. I'm not paying anything. They didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
You guys are the one that did something wrong."
Now, what was the fine for?
For not making my customers wear masks, not making my employees wear masks.
So not following the guidelines
yeah.
that were put in place for your county.
Yeah. So I declined all of the
For me, Mr. May, I said I'm not doing any of it.
We're not doing none of that. We're going to court. And, so they said, "All right."
See me in court.
Exactly. So they finally said, "All right, never mind. Here's your license back." And so they gave up. They dismissed everything against me and gave me my license back.
So, quick question: did you represent yourself, or did you?
No.
Okay.
No, I had a team of lawyers from local lawyers that I paid for. But then I also had a lawyer named Bob Barr, who's actually a former congressman out of Atlanta, who represented me for free.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
a nonprofit paid for his services for
Wow.
me. And that guy is a constitutional expert. He knows the Constitution like the back of his head. So
Yeah.
it was really advantageous for us to have him on the team.
That's awesome.
And I think they knew once he joined the team that they were in some trouble.
Yeah, somebody had to have done their research.
Right.
For sure. After that, like.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff going on with this, this COVID-19 stuff that people just have no idea about. And it's unfortunate because they are violating a lot of our rights. And the only way to change is if we stand up. And people with voices, which are like business owners that have some skin in the game to lose, we need to stand up and stand up for our customers, our whole community, in order for it to change, because there's no other way to do it.
Be heard.
So, overall, how has this, changed for you going through that entire, process? I'm pretty sure you had nights that you were up late, fighting for your rights.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So,
it was stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was stressful, but it was something that I knew I had to do. When my wife and I talked about it before we made the stand. I said I got 3 sons and a daughter, and I said that how am I going to be able to look my kids in the face and tell them, you make sure you do everything right, no matter the cost, and if I'm not doing it myself, and so that was it for me. That let me know I had to do it. And whatever happens, we'll let the chips fall where they may. But this is what we're doing. And I didn't know if you never know what's going to happen. I didn't know if the community was going to be mad at me for taking a stand, or if they were going to support me.
You didn't know if you would be arrested.
I didn't know if I'd be arrested. I didn't know if I would lose my business. And,
I just want to say shout out to your wife, because when you won that, I seen the video, she was right on your side.
Yep.
And so I'm just assuming she was your biggest supporter.
Oh man, yeah,
So
she
shout out
is.
to her.
Shout out to her.
Absolutely.
You gotta be strong.
Absolutely. She was right
yeah.
there.
You men don't understand sometimes that, for us to stand, by our men and support you guys it's very challenging sometimes, but we do it out of the love that we have for y'all, the respect for y'all. She definitely gets commended, for standing beside you.
Yeah, she's a strong woman. I would not be. There would be no Gourmeltz without her. I wouldn't be the man I am. I got married when I was 24 years old. We've been married 14 years.
Wow.
And
That's so cool.
at 24 years old, I'm still a kid.
Right.
No matter what you think.
You are.
Oh, yeah.
So, she's 2 years older than me. So she was 26. So we were both still growing. So we basically grew up together, and she's a strong woman, man. Way stronger than I am. And she pushes me. And I've always known that, I gotta be a good man if I want to keep this money.
Oh, that.
So it's the reason why I'm at where I'm at now, because of her.
Yes, disrespected.
Yep.
Disrespected.
So, what backlash advocacy. What about that? You know, you said you
Yeah.
have a lot of support, or a lot of support.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure that there was, you know, AOs out there that was.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it wasn't a political stance that I took. I never said anything about Republicans or Democrats. It was not a political stand one way or the other. It was just simply, I got to stand up for my rights.
Right.
And I got to stand up for my customers' rights, period. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, I don't give a damn what you are. Standing up for your rights.
Right.
And of course, everybody did it political. You know, they started saying all kinds of stuff. You know, a lot of people who we left didn't appreciate the stand that I took, obviously, because, you know, the liberal media tells them that masks work, and, you know, the COVID-19 is killing all these people, and all this other shit. So they take it and they run with it without doing any kind of investigation themselves. You know, so obviously they were real mad at me. And I got called a lot of shit. You know, because I was standing up for our rights and I knew masks don't work and a bunch of other shit. I was automatically labeled as, you know, a Trumper. I mean, they call me all kinds of shit, racist.
Yeah.
Y'all know me.
We know you.
Yeah.
We know you.
Yeah.
So, but people who didn't know you,
Yeah.
of course, I'm sure a lot of that came.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the thing is, I mean, we're in a dark time here in society where things don't have to be facts for people to take and run with it. You know, it just has to be said, and even if later on it's proved to be false, it's something the damage is already done. You know, so that's the time we're living in now with social media, and it's real detrimental to society. You know, but so for people to say things like that about me online, because they were left and right, not even knowing me, have never met me, don't know how I grew up, don't know anything about my family.
Don't know your background, your family.
Don't know nothing. Right? You know, we're calling me all kinds of stuff online and everything, but I can't do nothing about it. You just gotta put your head down and rock on. You know what I mean? You got a family to take care of.
Right.
But obviously I lost customers because of it. Yeah, because there's people who are just gonna go like go and shit. And no matter if you can lay the facts out right in front of you, and they'll still ignore them.
There's always those
Yeah.
few.
So I did lose customers, but I gained a lot more. And I tell you, I gained a lot more customers on both sides of the aisle. So people who are Republicans and Democrats, because there's a lot of you know people who lean on the Democrat side that see what's going on as well. You know, so it's basically people. Oh yeah, you just gotta use common sense. Everything comes back to common sense. You know what I
It
mean?
does at the end of the day.
Yeah, if it doesn't look right, feel right, taste right, smell right, it probably ain't right.
Probably ain't right.
You know what I mean? And so I did lose. I lost a lot. There's a lot of customers that I would see on a regular basis that I don't see anymore. But I gained a lot more customers, and they backed me into a corner. The health department did. It was a stance that I had no choice but to make. So I don't regret anything at all.
We should have.
That's awesome.
Shout out to you. Again, when y'all in the area, Stafford,
Fredericksburg.
Fredericksburg. Check them out.
Gourmeltz, right on Route 1.
We got good food for you. We got a full bar. And,
I know I'm coming.
Yeah, it's an indoor outdoor bar too. So when the weather's nice, you can sit in the bar
I see
outside.
y'all have karaoke there.
Oh, we got
Like,
something going on every night.
Date
Okay.
night.
Okay.
Y'all, we're gonna open the lines as well. 703-951-7003. We have owner of Gourmeltz, Matt Strickland, in the building. If you guys want to touch base, if you have any questions about anything he's discussed with us today, the line is open.
And we've got not only do we have great food at the restaurant, and some amazing drinks. We have 90 music thing at the restaurant.
Ooh, and that's my music right
Is
there.
that on a specific day or
Every day.
every day?
Yeah, so you come into the restaurant, music videos are playing on the TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see y'all have happy hour from like 11 to 7.
Yeah.
That's the longest. Listen. That's happy hours.
Yeah. It's happy day.
You have to happy days. There you go. But you gotta add nest to that thing. That's several hours. That's shout out to you.
And you know what the crazy part is, Matt, with all of this, just knowing that, you know, you took a stand and stood up, you know, and didn't let them come and just, you know, tell you what to do with your business. I just think about, how, we all were raised. Like, we had to be strong individuals. People don't know, where you come from. But we all took care of each other. It was crazy.
Absolutely. And that's why it's disheartening for me to see the way the country is going right now. Because of where I grew up and how I grew up. And I know the U.S. is not as racist as everybody makes it out to be, because we didn't see color when we were kids, man. We didn't grow up. None of y'all gave a damn that I was the only white dude in the neighborhood.
No, we loved you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sincerely.
Yeah.
Still. Like, it didn't matter.
I remember when I first met you.
It didn't matter that you were white.
Right, exactly. And to most white people, it doesn't matter that people are black, but the best way to conquer a nation is through segregation. I mean, the oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer. You can't conquer with people who are all together strong. You can't do it. So you have to create division within the country in order to push a certain agenda. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but it's obvious that this division in the country is manufactured. It's they report things that don't really exist in order to create more division. Because in the grand scheme of things, just in a sense, we love each other. You don't walk around, white and black people don't walk around disrespecting each other because of their color. On a daily basis, you see somebody at the store, we love each other, man. And us being together, we're too strong together. They have to divide us, and they're doing a hell of a job at it.
Yeah.
And one thing we have to do is stop and let them do it.
Yeah. That's amazing. Like, I mean, and you have a story, you have children, you get to sit down with your kids and your grandkids and actually, you have a story. That's amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, but I just, I wish at the beginning of all this, everybody knew my story, knew where I came from, and knew what kind of person I was. Because then maybe, they would have thought a lot different about the stance of it.
You know what? It doesn't matter. Because sometimes they should have, at some point taken the time to learn your story to, figure out, why you decided to do what it was you're doing. They could have understood it a little better. So that's their loss.
Well, I appreciate that.
Gourmeltz is up and running.
Yes.
It will not be shutting down. And
they got chicken melts, grilled cheese, chicken
and waffle melts.
The best wings you ever tasted in your life.
And let me tell you something wild. So, in order to have an ABC license at a restaurant, you have to have a valid health department license, right? So when they suspended my health department license, my ABC license was automatically revoked.
Oh wow.
And of course, I didn't stop selling alcohol either.
You were just like.
So when we got our health department license back, we went before the ABC board, and we thought they would be like, oh, okay, you got your health department license back. Well, here's your ABC license, and that's the only reason they revoked it. And that's not what happened. They said, no, you operated without an ABC license. And I said, yeah, but that's because my health department license was unconstitutionally and illegally suspended.
So I should have been able to steal.
Yeah, exactly. And they said, well, we're not giving it back to you. I said, all right, cool, but I'm not going to stop selling alcohol. And I'm not.
Really?
So said my bro talking that shit.
So you tell Swift, I said, what's up, man? What's up, Swift? Just saw him last night.
What's up, Swift?
Yeah.
Chrissy Green said if your story was in the book, she died.
Oh, yeah? Well, I might have to happen sometime soon.
Wow. There you go. Look out.
Wow.
But anyway, so the ABC fined me like $12,000 and said they were going to suspend my license for 90 days. I appealed that, and I'm waiting to go to court right now for that. And they've been reaching out to me hey man, let's settle this before we go to court, because they know we're gonna win.
Yeah, they know that they going up against a fighter
They know we're gonna
at
win.
this point.
So I told them. So they said, hey man, you don't have to pay the whole 12 G's, and your license won't be suspended for any amount of time, but just pay us a little bit. And it's to make them look like they didn't lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I said, okay, cool. I'll pay you $17.76.
You're
And that's for and that's for 1776, the year of our independence.
oh my God.
So they
accept or
nah, they declined it. They declined. They came back and said, "We'll make this a serious offer." I said, "Hey man, that's my final offer. I'm gonna pay a penny more or a penny
They said
less."
this man, why? Hey,
Oh,
hey,
wow.
the city officials do not.
Oh, they don't want that.
They don't want no smoke with you.
Yeah. So I'm waiting to go to court for that, but who knows if it'll get there. So right now we're serving illegal alcohol in Gourmeltz, man, and I'm telling you,
Tell the world.
it tastes way better. It tastes way better.
They better way better than legal.
That's what's up.
I wanted to say, like, with the outpouring of the community when you was actually in the midst of the heat, you know, I mean, can you tell us, like, just, you know, some of the support that you had received during that time?
Yeah, I had people coming from, like I said, everywhere. I had a guy come from Iowa. I don't even know where that's at, but I know it's far. I had a guy come from Iowa, and he said, "Hey man, just want to let you know, came from Iowa to meet you, and I just wanted to shake your hand and say thank you for standing up for the people. We need to change things and, you know, bring some common sense back into the U.S." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that, man. Very nice to meet you. Are you driving through? You know, who brought you to Virginia?" He said, "Nope. I came here just to meet you, shake your hand, stand beside the Gourmeltz and be a part of this movement." And that touched me. That hit me hard. And I had multiple encounters like that. People coming from all over the place. And it was amazing. I mean, I had, you know, and white, black, Asian, Puerto Rican, you know, everything, man. Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, everybody. Everybody was just happy. Somebody was standing up against this bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yes.
I have a question. I also I seen where you wanted to also stand against the school board for mandating masks for children in school, and I just wanted to know, you know, how far you got with that. If you had a lot of parents supporting you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of parents supporting us. We've been fighting that fight, you know, ever since the mandate started as well, because it's detrimental to everybody to wear a mask every day, but even more so for kids who are learning, whose brains are developing. It's really important for kids to be able to see, you know, facial recognition clues as they're learning and growing, and normalizing wearing a mask every day and living in fear is doing something to these kids' psyche that is going to be irreversible. You know, and my kids are the only ones in their class that don't wear a mask. I took an exemption to the office.
And I was about to say, now, how did the school feel about that? But I'm sure by that time you had been all over the news, and you know, your story had already been broadcast, so they knew. You know, when the Strickland kids came in here.
Yeah, and fortunately, they got awesome teachers as well, man. That you know, shares the same views, and she makes sure they looked out for at school. But I took a religious exemption. I said, "Hey man, it's against our religion to wear a mask." And they didn't question it.
You know, some
kids in class not wearing, and
How do they feel about it?
my kids, they love it. They love it, man. Because they you know, I talk to my kids. You know, as kids, I don't try to talk to them like an adult or anything, but I don't hold anything back from them.
Right.
I'm their father.
Right.
I'm teaching. I want them to learn about the world in the correct way. You know, and it's just not living in fear every day of something you shouldn't be living in fear of.
Right.
Is like I said, detrimental to the kids. And I wasn't gonna let it happen with my kids. Now I got 2 in high school and 2 in elementary. So my 2 in elementary are twins. So those are the ones that don't wear masks in school. My 2 high school kids, I got one in 11th grade, one in 10th. High school's a different animal. high school's difficult for kids, even before.
Period.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. But high school's
You
rough
walking
time.
into a whole
Yeah.
whole different ball game.
Exactly. So I told my kids, I said, hey, listen, if you don't want to wear a mask, I'll fight for you and I'll make sure you're not wearing a mask in school. But you know, if you do, because you know you don't want the confrontation every day
Right.
with other kids because they're being fed
Teachers.
information from their teacher, from their parents and the teachers who. I mean, there's reports of teachers actually, you know, giving negative grades to kids who are against these mandates.
Right,
And,
yeah.
you know, who may say something, who's political. They may say something that don't agree with the teacher's political
Just
view,
speaking off over there, sorry.
and they're being given negative grades because of that. So I told my kids, it's up to you. If you want to wear one, then I'm not gonna be mad at you. I understand. But if you don't, I'm gonna fight for you. Make sure you're not wearing one. So you know, but my twins that are in elementary school, they used to wear no mask.
So yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for sharing the story, sharing all that you have done.
And we'll keep on rocking to the ground
I
south.
remember when I first met you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got a good memory. That was a long time ago.
Listen. It was rough getting to your house. I got in a fight. I was so mad. It was a pool in your backyard. Everybody was swimming, and I was
Oh,
like,
that's when I lived in Dale City. Yeah.
I was upstairs pissed. I'm not getting in the pool.
It's been a long
Yeah.
I
time.
want to go.
Yeah, that was I was probably 16 at that time because we moved from Baltimore to Dale City.